how to develop your own business and make lots and lots of money. Started with this one. In the very beginning, it was not a business. It was helping my mother who was very sick. Nakikita ko gumagaling. I decided to turn it into business. Ay, hindi ako pwedeng wala akong ginagawa. Lalo na pag wala akong kita, masisiraan ako ng bait. It's always a fight. When you start something else, you have to focus. Wag lang ka talagang tamad. Yun ang problema, kahit entrepreneur ka na, marami kang pera, pero pag tamad ka, iiwan mo lang sa mga tauhan mo. The one thing is,
Hey everyone! Welcome to the Seagulls Community Podcast. This show is built to inspire and equip you with a mindset and skills to build income, freedom, and purpose through real tactical conversations. I'm your host, June, and today's episode tells the incredible story of how an entrepreneur turned an ancient tribal oil into an award-winning product line now gaining traction internationally. So if you're a social entrepreneur wondering how purpose-driven businesses can grow organically and ethically, this show is for you. Veronica Maputi is the founder of Tribal Miracle Oil, a company rooted in the healing traditions of the Ata Negritos tribe of Negros Oriental. Since 2013, she's expanded from trade fairs to building her own factory, securing FDA approvals, and now exporting to the US. Tita Vero, welcome to the show.
thank you. So I'm very happy that I'm invited and to show my product, that I can help other people also how to develop your own business and make lots and lots of money.
Yes. Lots and lots of money. Yun po talaga inaabangan ng mga viewers natin ngayon. So tita, let's start by, I wanted to ask you, how did you start with the journey in creating the Tribal Miracle Oil? By the way, ito po pala yung product. Pakita lang natin. How did you start with this journey, tita, in creating this oil?
Actually, I really started with this one. I create this, in fact, in the very beginning, it was not a business. It was helping my mother who was very sick. And then we are already, the doctors doesn't want to give her any medicines anymore. So I end up finding something natural that can help at the same time and doesn't destroy any other functions of the body. So, actually, ang grandfather ko was mananambal actually. So, I was the one helping him to go pick up some leaves, some barks, some roots. So, actually, I did have all the knowledge already of all the natural resources. The fact is that when I went abroad, everything what I had learned, na itago ko lang sa sarili ko. Kasi sa labas doon, everything is free. So, medicines are free, doctors are free. Ba't ako mangunguha pa ng kahoy at mga hindi na ako akyat, libre naman eh. So, when I came back, 35 years after, mama ko may sakit. She had heart enlargement, tapos, yun na nga, arthritis. Tapos, pagpunta namin sa doktor, tinatanggihan kami kasi nga, matanda na yung mama ko. Kaya, I said, if hindi na siya kaya sa mga modern medicines, I will go back to nature. So, yun na nga. Nag-aanoan muna ako ng mga kahoy na nalalaman ko. Kaya, binubuo ko yun, ini-start ko siya. Ang first victim ko talaga, ang mama ko. Pati ako. Kasi yung mama ko, pag hindi ako iinom, hindi daw siya iinom. Then, I used to be diabetic, high blood pressure, fatty liver, asthma, depression. Aba, habang gumaling yung mama ko, ako dahan-dahan din ako nagbawas ng mga gamot ko. So, I end up nag-start ako, binibigay ko muna sa mga taong, ay ako ate, ganito, ganyan, binibigyan ko sila. Nakikita ko gumagaling. So, I decided to turn it into business. Para makakatulong naman ako sa mga tao, lalo na yung mga kunti lang ang pera, hindi makapa-ospital, alam mo naman, ang ospital dito, ang mahal-mahal, kaya eto na, nag-start na ako. So, I started to develop the product. I send all my materials, pinadala ko muna sa Europe. Pinapacheck ko lahat doon para hindi naman ako madali sa baka mali yung grandfather ko na tinuturo. So, I have to make it sure. Pagkatapos nun, ayan, nagde-develop na ako ng product. I make the factory, and then I apply the FDA, the CPR, kasi I know in the very beginning, if you are not certified, one day or another dito sa Pilipinas, magde-develop lang talaga. So now, before everybody was ready, I was already ready with all my certifications.
Mm.
That's how it started.
Wow, grabe. From a personal reason para mapagaling yung mama mo, naging business siya. Pero tita, ang tawag dito sa Tagalog po is himag, di ba?
Hindi. Ang tawag nito, ang himag po is yung pong mga different kinds of herbs.
Mhm.
Yun ang tawag himag.
Mhm.
Hindi po ang gamot mismo. Yung mga dahon-dahon at mga herbs. Kasi yung mga indigenous, wala po yung mga alam. There were no read, no write.
Mhm.
Kaya ang alam nila, ito gamot to para sa sakit ng ulo. Ito para sa ganito. Ito para sa ganyan.
Mm.
Hindi nila distinguish kung ano ang pangalan.
Mm.
So, ang tawag nila, himag to. Himag is ibig sabihin gamot.
So in general pala, pag sinabing himag, gamot yan. Kaya
Oo,
lang
mga gamot na klase-klaseng mga kahoy.
wow. Ngayon ko lang nalaman yun. Salamat po sa very informative na education na background nitong Tribal Miracle Oil. Pero paano niyo po ito na-discover? Sabi niyo po sa tatay niyo. Alam mo na yun, alam na ng tatay mo, and then from there, na-meet mo yung mga ata ng Negros Oriental. Tama po ba yun?
Oo, nami-meet ko sila. Actually, my purpose was, yung pagdating ko dito sa Pilipinas, wala na akong ginagawa kundi nakaupo, nag-aantay sa oras. I'm not used to do that. I've been working 16 hours for 18 years dun sa labas. Kaya hindi ako pwedeng mag-aantay ako na wala akong ginagawa. Lalo na pag wala akong kita, masisiraan ako ng bait. So, I started to learn, at least I was giving help at the same time I am earning. And then I spread all, kung sino yung matutulungan ko, yun ang tinutulungan ko talaga. Pero yung talagang dapat tutulungan, hindi yung tutulungan mo dahil sa katamaran. Ayoko ng ganon. So, that's how I started, na umaakit ako sa bundok. Kasi nga, doon ako natututo na I have to give back what marunong din tayong tumulong sa kapwa, lalo na yung wala. Kaso nga lang, para makontinue ko, ginawa ko siyang business. While helping, then, I'm also giving, para hindi naman maubos. Kasi maubos naman yung akin pagka hindi ko siya gagawing business.
Correct.
So, it's always a fight. When you start something else, you have to focus and then concentrate and then fight and maintain the going up and down. Kasi ang dami ko talagang nadadaanan na hirap kasi I've been fighting about the people that you give help, tapos imbis na tutulungan mo, ikaw pa mismo ang gagawa ng katarantaduhan. Kaya it was going up and down. Medyo kumita na sana ako. Tapos magtitiwala ka kasi magandang itong responsibilidad nyo para ganito, ganyan. Pagtapos ninanakaw pala. Kaya tapos ang COVID dumating, kaya sarado lahat ang tindahan ko. It was always a fight of, pero kailangan ka talaga, if you start something, i-focus mo lang talagang sarili mo para mafe-feel mo na umaakyat ka, bumababa ka, normal lang yan. Whatever, kahit sa buhay nga you go up and you go down. Once you go down, you have to learn to go up again. Anyway, it's fun. You make it like it's fun to go. Murabag ka ng lakaw ra mo, tapos umaakyat ka, pababa, paakyat, pababa, pagod ka. But you have friends all around, real friends, can always there beside you. That is how it works. The one thing it's very that I can give an advice is magiging totoo ka sa sarili mo para magiging totoo din ang mga tao sa'yo.
Ang ganda nun. And obviously, kaya po kayo blessed na blessed dahil sa dami po ng tinulungan nyo. And tama ka dun, you can't give what you don't have. So first, you need to make sure na yung business mo is sustainable. Kasi paano ka makakatulong if yung business mo hindi sustainable? And I can see yung level of commitment mo dun sa business mo, tita. No? Talagang, I'll do my best, I'll give my best, no matter the situation is. And it's very obvious doon sa mga tinulungan mo, especially yung mga indigenous people natin na Ata Negritos. And I wanted to ask, tita, how was the experience like working with those people?
Very difficult. Very, very difficult. Kasi sanay sila sa yung bang pag binigyan mo, nag-aantay pa, sanay sila sa hingi ng hingi. Tapos pag tinuturuan mo, ang hirap kasi, I also develop a spa. Ngayon, sila unang ginawa ko sanang therapist. I train, I spend all the time for them to develop. Pero wala sila, they don't have any, how do you call this? But I cannot blame them kasi they are like that. They are indigenous people who nobody trained them. Nobody teach them. It's like they are up there, pero wala silang kaya mga ID nga nila, wala eh. So, now I started to develop the spa. Ang ko na naman is mga tinutulungan ko is mga single mother. I teach them how to do the massage, and then they can bring their child with them, live in the spa, and they have free electricity, free water. I give them allowance, and then I give them the rice. So when they wake up in the morning, they have nothing to worry but to take care of their child, put them in the school. They come back, they start working. So at least they have an early everyday income that can also manage and take care of themselves and their child. That's what I am starting to do it. I mean, it's not even starting. It's been almost 12 years now. And I'm very happy that most of this, and also working student, I also accepted the working student so they can go to school, and then when they come back, they can start working also. They have their salary. That's how I do it. It's a way of giving back, but teaching them how to work also and to survive. Isn't it nice?
It is very nice, tita. And businesses with a real mission are those businesses that always thrive. Kasi pagka humirap ng sitwasyon, talagang babalik ka dun sa mission mo. Ano bang mission? Ano bang goal ng business? And I would like to also tell my audience here, our audience, na yung massage spa nyo po is yung favorite ko. I've been in Mindanao, stayed in Manila for 12 years, and ngayon nasa Visayas region kami. Inikot ko na yung buong Pilipinas, and hilig po kami ni Mrs. ko magpamassage. And ever since napunta ako dito sa area natin, 6 years na po kami pabalik-balik doon sa massage nyo. And alam ko rin po, ito yung ginagamit natin na oil doon.
Ito siya.
Ito siya, ang ginagamit doon. Tita, matanong ko lang din.
Ito siya.
Ito siya, yes.
Oo.
Ito yung oil na yon. So, i-zoom in ko lang para makita nila. Tita, quick question dito. Kasi I know when you are trying to study the feasibility of this business and sharing na medyo mahirap i-train yung mga indigenous people, alam ko nahihirapan po kayo. Paano ba natin itong gawing operational ang hirap i-train ng mga tao? What made you convince na this is a viable business?
So, it's just a question that I told you that you have to believe in yourself, confidence, focus, and let's go and have fun. It's just as simple as that.
Wow. So, just having confidence on the product, kasi alam naman natin nakakatulong talaga yan, and just enjoy the ride, no? All the ups and the downs.
Yes, it's all the up and downs. Because now, Vero Massage Clinic and Spa is very known now. We are accepting most of the international tourists here in Dumaguete.
Yes.
And they even asked me to be one of the spa for the tourism office. And it's not even Dumaguete who is asking me, it's from Makati. So, you see, the hard work and the confidence and the focus always paid back. Just take it for fun para hindi masyadong mahirap. Tignan mo, hindi ako tumatanda. I'm 65.
Yes. You look very young and lagi ko yung sinasabi kay tita alam ko talaga it's because of these natural oils na ginagamit niya.
Yes, marami din ako mga cosmetics.
Yes. And tita, what challenges did you face in building this type of business? Kasi ito kasi heavily reliant on natural resources. So medyo mabagal yung pag-scale in terms of operation wise. So ano yung mga challenges na na-encounter nyo in building this and making this an international brand?
Ang nahirapan ako una talaga is to take the materials kasi ang mga materials na ito, yung mga kahoy na ito, tumutubo lang ito sa gilid. Anong tawag niyan sa Bisaya is pangas cliff. So at that time, ako pag talaga mismo ang umaakyat doon kay I have to teach them ito siya nga kahoy na to, itong ganito. So I have to go. It was not easy for me kay I was around 105 kilo before at that time and I was diabetic, I was high blood pressure, I had fatty liver, I had asthma and I have depression. My depression was worse. But I told you it's a question of confidence and trust to yourself. So, umaakyat ako doon kasama sa bundok. Doon ako nahihirapan talaga nung una. Pero, syempre, if you want to do it, it's easy.
And that differentiates you from other people, especially entrepreneurs, because karamihan sa atin at 60 years old, gusto natin mag-retire. In fact, yung iba, early retirement nga at 50, nag-retire na. Pero si Tita Vero, talagang inaakyat pa yung bundok para kumuha ng supply. Saan ka maghahanap niyan?
Tsaka kasi pag may purpose ka talaga, madali lang. Parang madali. You just, wag lang ka talagang tamad. Kasi yun ang problema, kahit entrepreneur ka na, marami kang pera, pero pag tamad ka, iiwan mo lang sa mga tauhan mo, mahirap, aside from yung mga mayayaman na talagang pero kagaya ko sa akin, na nagsimula ako, I started with 250,000 pesos. Binenta ko ang life insurance ng anak ko. Yun ang pinagsimulang, that's how I started.
Wow. Binenta niyo po ang life insurance ng anak niyo to start this business?
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that, Tita? What made you so confident na ito na talaga gawin ko, I will put my son's insurance at stake to pursue this business?
Kasi ganito yung, ayoko kasi, I've been in big business. I work with very big famous companies in Europe. Pero pagdating ko rito, wala pa akong pension. So I don't earn anything. Pagdating namin dito, my husband has he has the money for me to start, but I wanted to start it by myself. So para wala siyang masasabi sa akin na kung mabankrupt man ako, problema ko na yon kasi pera ko yon eh. So wala akong magawa na I said, if my business will boom, para din naman sa anak ko. So instead na i-stack ko doon yung pera ko, when I went back to Europe, I sold the life insurance it's not actually the life insurance, it's an insurance that when he turns 18, makukuha niya yung pera para he go to school, he can buy an apartment, a car, so he can go to the university with it. It's a special insurance in fact. So sabi ko, ang lit-lit lang naman ang makukuha niya pag at least it will help. So, ang ginawa ko, binenta ko muna yun. Yun ang ginagamit ko. So, ako, maingat ako kasi it's part of the future of my son. Ang nilaro ko. So, kahit pagod ako, I have to stand up because it's the future, it's part of the future of my son. Pag inano ko dito, mawala to, wala din yung anak ko. So, every morning, I have to stand up. 3 o'clock in the morning, lipad na ako niyan, papunta ng Mabinay para doon ako mangunguha ng kahoy. Kaya, to start alone with a very little capital, it's not easy.
100%.
100% it's not easy.
I agree on that.
But, confidence, focus, nothing can stop you. Isn't it right?
Beautiful said, tita, and well said. And yung karamihan sa atin, pagka nakikita nila successful entrepreneur, akala nila madali lang yung road. They didn't know the story behind that and the sacrifices that you need to make para ma-attain yung status na yon. Very beautiful, tita. And I know you are already shipping nationally and internationally in local stores, 700 local stores dito sa Pilipinas. Para ma-attain yun, kailangan mo ng FDA approval. Tama po ba? So let's go tactical kasi I know meron dyan mga audience natin that also wanted to take this route. No? Scaling and very difficult, unscalable business, especially natural oils. How did you get the FDA approval, tita? And ano yung mga challenges that you went along the way to get that approval?
Actually, when I started this herbal product, kahit nga yung iba, they don't know about FDA. They don't know about that you have to have it examined, have it tested. Wala silang kaalam-alam, but I'm very happy that I already have experiences while working abroad. So I know that if I wanted to expand, I need all this kind of certification like FDA, like so myself was looking for how could I test my oil? Kasi kailangan yan sa FDA. How would I do this? How would I do that? So step by step, I'm learning myself. And I even help them because once I find the laboratory that can test our oil, now they are coming to us here in Dumaguete. And it's called SGS Laboratory. And they really helped me a lot. So I bring them, I introduce them with the DTI and the FDA also. Because in the very beginning, ang FDA dito, nako, ambot lang. I just don't have to say anything, but at least a little bit corrected already. So it was very difficult to start because your surroundings and the people who are concerned, they don't even know anything about it. But it's just going to have your confidence that you know you can do it and you can trust yourself. That's why I end up, I have USFDA, I have the CPR, I have the LTO. Then I even have the IP. If I said IP is you are the owner
Trademark.
of the, yes. I even have to do that because I have to protect my mark. I know it's difficult, but now it's easier because you just go to the DTI now, you ask their help, and they are going to help you. Door is open already. While in my time, everything was closed. I have to open it by myself. Hindi naman ako nagyayabang, pero totoo talaga yun.
And I remember, tita, you told me na ikaw yung nagdala ng FDA approval dito sa area natin. So yung first step po talaga is to go to DTI to seek their help to get the FDA for their products?
No. Now everything is online. So you go to FDA and then you have all the rules that you have to follow. And that's it.
Ganun lang po kadali ngayon?
Ngayon, yes. Before my time, there was no online.
Oh, guys, wala na kayong excuse ha na hindi nyo mapa-FDA approve
Yeah,
yung
it's
product
kasi
niyo.
unfair po talaga sa amin na kami nag-aano talaga ng FDA, ng LTO, ng SCPR, tapos yung iba, hindi sila gumagawa na they don't follow the rules. Pero yung iba ngayon, kagaya ng Liplaza, yung mga walang FDA, hindi na nila tinatanggap.
So yung mga big grocery stores dito sa
Oo.
atin, requirement na talaga yung FDA. Kasi it's also important to protect your customers, di ba? If you want your business to grow, you need to make sure that your product is safe. And one way to show that is kung meron kang FDA-approved product.
Yes.
Tita, how do you see the future of Tribal Miracle Oil? Right now na nationally nagsiship na kayo, internationally nagsiship na rin kayo, ano po yung future na nakikita nyo for your Tribal Miracle Oil?
Well, I hope that I could be more successful kasi my next project is to help old people na wala na pong nag-aalaga. And it so happened that I bought a big property in Darwin. I'm expanding it na paggawa ko ng mga bahay sa mga matatanda na walang nag-aalaga. I will take care of them. This would be my next step for the moment. With the help of this Tribal Miracle Oil, soon, makakatulong na rin ako sa ibang matanda.
Tita, pwede pa elaborate yon. So, you mean to say para siyang home for the aged? Tama po
It's
ba?
kind of home of the aged, pero I will be supporting them.
By giving them
Oh,
businesses.
at saka, paiinumin ko sila ng libre
Wow.
para wala silang sakit. And then they will go back. Medyo pag malusog-lusog na sila, at least kung meron sila. Kasi tayo, pag gutom tayo at may sakit pa, lalo tayong madali papunta sa sementeryo. So, once na medyo asinso na ko uli din, punta muna kayo sa akin doon sa gagawin kong for the home of the aged. Pero tulong lang yan. Tulong lang yan sa matatanda. Kasi sa totoo lang, naaawa ako yung ibang mga matatanda na sa tabi ng daan, ang init o kaya ulan. Minsan wala pang tsinelas. So, sana naman matulungan nyo kaming mag-work ng husto ang yung Tribal Miracle Oil. Kasi natutulungan din naman kayo. So, yun po ang next step ko sa project ko sa Tribal Miracle Oil.
Ang ganda nun, tita, and I hope you see success on that in the future. Kailan po yung opening nun? And ano po yung requirement para makapasok? Para lang dun sa mga nanonood, I know you guys are looking forward no sa future plans ni Tita Vero. So we wanted to know, kailan po yung expected date ng opening nun? And ano po yung requirement para makapasok sila doon?
This is only a project, It's very nice to hear, but project pa lang po ito. Wala akong qualification. Basta wala kayong makain at wala kayong matirahan at walang nag-alaga sa inyo, tatanggap ako. Pero project pa lang ito, ha?
Yan. So idea pa lang pala yun. So just to...
Pero normally, I'm sorry,
It's okay.
Normally, what I do, it's really step by step. Now, for the spa, I'm helping the single mother. It takes me times and years to develop it. Now they are. If you can see our little children growing up, it's very nice to see. They're clean. They don't feel hungry, and they can go to school, and they are loved. It's multiplying. We have now 6 months old, I think, and then another one is pregnant. That's why I said you just stop developing because. But anyway, it's very nice. But I know that my next project, it will come. It would not be easy, but I like surprises.
That's very beautiful. And ako, witness ako doon sa dami ng mga bata doon po sa Espanyo. And they say, if your business has children, your business will be blessed. Very, very grateful for that, tita. Last na lang, tita. Last tip and advice nga gusto kong hingin sa inyo. Doon po sa mga entrepreneurs na nanonood sa atin ngayon that they're also planning to build a social enterprise. So, an enterprise that is rooted on the mission ba? What advice can you give them? Kasi mahirap po yung business na to, especially kung wala silang funding. Ano po yung advice na bibigay niyo po sa kanila?
I think it depends. Kasi yung akin na that's what I told you. I sold the insurance of my son's education. Now they have the DTI, meron silang mga offer that you can make a credit without any interest. You have the DOST, they are also offering credits without any interest. The BPI, they have also credits, easy credit without any guarantee, with a very minimal of interest. So if I were you, you can start asking that situation, for example, like especially DOST, zero interest. It's very easy to do the credit. But then if you have the credit, don't buy Hilux, don't buy the how do you call that, pick up Hilux, and you start going around. No, you invest it to your business and work with it. Tapos, hindi naman kayo, possible may capital na kayo, you hire people, you let them work, and then there you are drinking coffee, going to the restaurant. That's not how the business is going to start. You work with the people that if you are hiring people, at least you can help also people who are jobless, but you work with them. You have to be there to develop, look for it. Kahit sa gabi, pag kailangan mong gumising, you wake up, go and solve the problem. Don't wait kasi yung nagpautang sa'yo, kailangan mo ring babayaran para yung iba naman, makakautang din sila. It's just, confidence, and huwag kayong magtamad-tamad.
That's the truthful advice. Huwag kang tamad, and you need to practice delayed gratification. Very, very beautiful advice to wrap up the show, Tita. And that's it for today, guys. And I hope this conversation has helped answer some of the questions you have about social entrepreneurship. If this conversation sparked something in you, whether it's a new idea, a shift in perspective, or even just a little more hope, let us know in the comments down below. And if you're someone who wants to upskill so you could take care of your family, check out the links down below. I offer free courses just for you. Again, this is your host, June. Marami pa tayong pag-uusapan, and I'll see you on the next one.